ago. So, all right, so good afternoon. Thank you for joining me for lunch today with Ernestine. I'm so excited to have you on here with me, Ernestine. You have no idea how much I admire what you do as a nurse, as well as to all the nurses out there. And I really felt like this is such a dynamic time for me to use my lunch break that I do once a month with everybody to share just about us getting into positions of purpose in our career. The goal of this meeting today is for us to really just kind of discuss ways to get creative. My audience, and I hope that you're able to gain from me, is I really want to target those who are foreign professionals that are overseas and they want to come to the States, as well as those immigrants who are here. I really feel it's so important, especially in this time with what we're facing in America with COVID, but most importantly, just with immigration, that my heart goes out to those who are not from here. Right now, it feels like we're not wanted, especially with the way immigration has been going. And being that I am a first generation here, and I have had the pleasure of working with so many immigrants from around the world, my desire is just to help educate and inspire and push those who are foreign professionals to go after their goals, and especially in a time as this. So I want us to focus on positioning yourself in purpose in nursing, because it's just such a career right now that gives you a return on your investment. The importance of getting into a career that you feel like is value added, like nursing, is it's detrimental during this time. So many people are trying to figure out what they want to do, what careers they want to get into, especially those who are not from this country, that are new here. And I want to push people into healthcare because it's the one opportunity that will always have a job. As we see in the midst of COVID right now, the two places that stayed open during all of the shutdown were healthcare facilities and food places. So that says a lot about what we in America look for, as well as in other countries. It was the same. You're always going to have a job when it comes to healthcare, and I really want to start to educate people on careers like this, that they will be able to still go after other desires that they have, but always know that they'll have an opportunity and they'll get a return on their investment as they pay for and get degrees that can help them and their family. In addition, healthcare right now is able to navigate some of the barriers of entry for immigrants. There is a healthcare act, a healthcare resilience act, that it's a bill right now. It hasn't been finalized, but as I've been talking to a lot of the immigration attorneys that help advise and teach me, this act allows for those to come into America. There's a certain amount of visas that they will open up, about 40,000 visas. 25,000 of those will go to nurses, and then the rest to doctors and other healthcare professionals. If this bill passed, even with all the barriers that people are facing right now for immigration, they'll be able to get in on this visa process. It was also a lot for their families. So if they have dependents that are under the age of 18, they also will be able to come with them to get a visa. So I want to educate people on careers that help them navigate immigration. Many people tell me right now, I say, why should I even focus on, trying to come to America and grow in my career and find sponsorship? And I'm like, absolutely. Because number one, we know that these barriers that we're facing right now with the current administration won't last forever. You should always continue to push towards your purpose and your desires, even if it looks like the doors are being shut, because eventually things will change. And number two, there's bills and things that's being put in place that hopefully will allow for people to still be able to come here. I personally know there are many people who understand the values of foreign workers and immigrants here. Just now in the healthcare system, immigrant nurses and doctors play such a vital role. 1/6 of the healthcare workforce is foreign-born, as well as they make up 17% of all healthcare workers. So that's 1 in 4 doctors are foreign-born. So no matter how much this country right now seems to be against open borders or immigrants coming here and establishing themselves, or foreign professionals coming here and getting sponsorship, it's not possible for it to be forever. We see the value in it. We know the value of foreign workers. But my last point of also why I'm really passionate about this is because I want foreign professionals and immigrants to understand, come here, learn, gain the knowledge, and then go ahead and duplicate this in your country. Because we see where the stance is with immigration. As much as foreigners have built this country, as much as they have put into this country, unfortunately, we see that still not appreciated in the sense of how immigration is looking now. So the way that we can help to change that is by, if you feel like coming to America will give you opportunities, which it definitely does, take advantage, pour into it, but also make sure you're pouring back to where you came from. Because just like America is looked at as a place that is, the epicenter of, opportunities and the way to advance yourself and to grow, we should be trying to create those same opportunities in the country we're from. Ernestine from Sierra Leone, I'm Liberian and Nigerian, and there's a list of other people I know here who can go take what they're learning and pour it back into their country. That's how we're going to be able to say, hey, if you don't appreciate what we have to offer, let's create opportunities for ourselves. And I'm really big on creating leadership that not only is just for your own generation, but to help others. So these are all like my passions and why, I'm even so much behind like helping to encourage foreigners and immigrants here in America. But I love everybody, okay? If you're not a foreigner, you're not an immigrant, I still want to help you. So you can take a lot from this too, because Ernestine is just dynamic. I want to give her a proper introduction. So I shared a little bit of my soapbox of what my passion is behind really helping foreign professionals and immigrants. And I just want to encourage you guys. I feel like people feel so, disappointed and not encouraged. They feel like, oh, is there any hope for me in those areas as immigrants and foreign professionals? And there is hope. You just always have to continue to, if one door closes, you go through a window. You make way for yourself. And one thing I know about all the foreign professionals I work with, their persistence and their ability to not let things knock them down is what I admire. I saw it in my parents. I see it in the people I work with day to day. We can't give up, no matter what it looks like. So even if the door is closed now, start positioning yourself so when the door opens, you're not trying to catch up. You're already there. You're ready. Here's my credentials. Let me get my opportunity. And then I'm going to make sure I pour that opportunity back to where I came from. So all that being said, now I want to get into the nursing. So nursing is key. Nursing right now is a great area to get into. It's always been this nursing shortage, as Ernestine will share more of. And just it's a career, I feel like, from my experience, and Ernestine, you can chime in, of course, that there's so many specialties, there's so many areas you can go into. You can be a nurse, a entrepreneur as a nurse. Ernestine is working towards that. I'm helping her. She is creating a home care agency for herself. She's awesome. We'll hear more as she talks. But it's one of those things where you can, as you are helping patients and helping people in the area of health, you're also able to expand yourself too into other goals you have. She wants to be an entrepreneur. She can still do that within this scope. And I just think it's important that as we have so many different desires, that you're specific about it. You don't want to go to colleges and get a degree and then you're searching for jobs. You don't want to, you want return on your investment. You want to make sure you get into something that's really going to make a way for you. But at the same time, I don't want you to also get into a career that you have no interest in just because of the money. So hopefully after you hear a little bit about the world today from Ernestine, it'll give you an idea if you feel like it's a good fit for you, and we can hopefully be able to help assist you in walking that out as a new person to America, as a foreign professional who has maybe some education background and so forth. So, Ernestine, I just want to share a little bit about your background, and then if you can tell us like why you went into nursing, what you feel it takes in this industry, and just just enlighten us a little bit on your journey. But just so you guys know a little bit of your bio, Ernestine is an amazing nurse who exemplifies the knowledge and heart for the industry. She's been working in healthcare for over 10 years in various settings, including hospital, assisted living, nursing home, and home care settings. So her love for pediatrics and the geriatric population is just unmatched. She's just heart for it, you guys. And I've seen her firsthand in her role with patients, and any patient would be so blessed to have her as their nurse. She cares, and I thank her personally so much for the sacrifices she's made in the midst of COVID, just, caring for and really putting her heart into all she does for her patients. And she's just dedicated to seeing excellent patient care. So, Ernestine, I'll let you take over. If you could just share a little bit about your story, your journey, and why you feel this career is so good for those who are new to America, and how they can benefit.
Okay, I was having a little problem with the Bluetooth.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Did you hear everything I said? You want me to repeat it?
Yeah, I could.
Oh yeah, I just said I gave a little fancy introduction of you, and then I wanted you to share a little bit about your journey, like how you got into nursing.
Okay.
And then I'll start off with that, at least sharing your story about how you started and so.
Okay, well, I started first as a CNA, state tested nursing assistant. I think it was like a 4-week program.
Mm-hmm. And what is a CNA?
Been a while, a long time ago.
For those who don't know, like they're totally new to this, what is a CNA?
Okay, let me fix my map quite quick. Hold on, sorry.
Okay, yeah, go ahead. Hope we didn't lose
Hello?
you.
Can you hear me?
Yes, I can hear you better now. It was breaking up before, but it seems like it's good now.
You can hear me better now?
Yes, we can hear you perfect.
Okay. So like I was saying, I started as a CNA, state tested nursing assistant. I worked like in a nursing home for a few years, and then I transferred to a hospital setting, and they call it then patient care assistant, call it PCA. I did that for a while.
And what is CNA? Can you say, because just in case somebody who's totally new to nursing, they don't know what is it? What does a CNA do?
The CNA, you basically assist the nurse. Assist the nurse, and it depends what setting. Like in a nursing home, you taking care of the elderly.
Okay.
Helping them with bathing, eating, getting dressed, transferring from the bed to the wheelchair and stuff like that.
Okay.
Awesome. Yeah. And then in the hospital setting, it was a bit different. It was more, you can do more stuff, like checking blood pressure, checking blood sugar, and again assisting the nurse.
Okay.
The nurse with positioning and getting them up and stuff like that.
Okay. And now, when you were a CNA, was that something that you did to kind of learn about nursing? Is it a good introduction to those who want to get into nursing, right? Like to explore?
Yes, definitely. That was a very great introduction, because as nursing, you have to definitely be compassionate, and being an SDNA kind of like, helped me and built me up to that level where, have the compassionate and then be patient and taking care of somebody else, Yeah.
I know many that work as CNAs now. Those who are new to the country, I know a lot, especially where I am in Minnesota. It's really a popular role for a lot of those who are interested in getting into healthcare or new here. And it seems like it's a good introduction. Like you're really kind of doing most of the patient care stuff. Some of it probably not as exciting in the sense of, it seems like you're doing some of the nitty gritty, down and dirty work, but it seems like you really get to develop the compassion and care for your patients in that role. Like that's a good place to start out if you're interested in seeing about becoming a nurse. And now, did you get do any certain certifications for that, or how was it? Like, did you have to take?
I went to a 2-year program because I had children already, and I was married at that time already. So I went to a part-time program, which lasted for about 2 years.
Okay.
What was the other question? Sorry, dear.
No, I just wanted to see if you did any special certifications so people could be aware of like what your process was. But so you did a 2-year program, you said, right, to become a
senior? You can do a 2-year program for the LPN or LPN, or you can also do a 1-year program. The 1-year program, you can do it like 1 year will be full time. Okay. And the 2-year definitely will be part time.
And once you get your CNA though, for CNA it's just a couple of weeks, right? For you to get for CNA it's just a couple of weeks for that program.
Yeah, for CNA that would be for about 4 weeks. It depends what state you are. It can be anywhere from 4 weeks to 8 weeks. And some nursing home will even train you while you're working.
Oh, okay.
So they'll be training you and still making money and still learning.
Okay.
At the same time. Yeah. And I'm sorry, guys. My mic is acting up.
Oh, I apologize. You see, we're trying something new here, so I hope it's not this. Is it just your earpiece? I wonder. I hope they can hear you. Okay. Hopefully they can. Yeah. Now, okay, so you got into CNA, you really learned the patient care role, you really got to understand what the patients are looking for and develop your compassion. Now, when you transitioned from CNA to LPN program, you were working. What did that look like? And I know did you take?
Well, it was the practical aspect was very good because since I was already used to that environment, and when I was working with the nurses, I would always ask questions, what they're doing and stuff. And when I'm in school as well, like if we do any specific topic, then I will ask them, even some of them will allow me to practice, and when they're like right there by my side. So it was a smooth journey. So I advise anybody that don't have experience, especially in healthcare, definitely do the CNA first. Okay. Because that will give you the vision of what you're going to be doing, especially in a nursing home setting. That will give you a broad vision.
And I'll tell you,
if that's what you really want to do.
Yeah, and I agree with you because I know there were some nurses I've met who I've worked with that they went straight and got their, they became a nurse got their BSN, and they didn't get that. They didn't do the CNA. Like they just kind of went straight. And I can tell from a nurse who kind of had their experience in CNA patient care and worked their way up, they just seemed to really have more compassion and understanding of the patient. So I think that's really, really important. And now I know you are also working on getting your RN. How had what certifications and trainings, or how did classes and trainings look now?
Well, right now I'm just taking my prereqs class, just like I'm doing it online.
Okay.
And then eventually when I'm done with that, I'll go into the program where I'll go to school or a university or a smaller. I'm not sure yet, but I pretty much I think I'm going to like a nursing because I like the hands-on.
Yeah, okay.
So where I will go there now full time. So that one from LVN to RN, you have so many programs. That online or go to
your phone
program. They call it like a bridge program.
We can't hear you too well. It's breaking up a little bit.
Can you hear me now?
Okay, yep, now I can hear you a little better. Okay. Yep.
Okay. Is it better now?
Yep, okay. It's better now.
Okay. Like I was saying, I'm taking classes online to get my I'm taking my time. Okay. Again, I'm a busy mom. It's understandable. Just taking it one day at a time,
Yeah.
yeah, this is the thing is, this is America, so it doesn't matter how old you are, you can always go back to school.
Exactly. You're never too old to change your
Yeah.
careers or go after something new, especially if you always desired it, or it's always been an interest. So I want to talk about just like characteristics, like in your experience and with nurses that you've worked with, what characteristics do you see make a good nurse? And like just through your experience, like what have you seen, like personal characteristics or just things that make a really good nurse?
Again, the big thing that I see in nurses definitely have to be empathetic, and compassionate, and just willing to learn, because with nursing it's continuous education. Every day you learn something new, so you just cannot get comfortable,
Yeah. Yeah.
So you just have to have that open mindset, because they're always discovering something,
Yeah. Look at
to make
COVID.
patients' life better. So
This
you
is
have to be
new.
willing to learn and
This
stuff. And if
COVID.
you don't know, just ask.
Mm-hmm.
Definitely ask, and yeah, just be open and be yourself. The key is compassionate.
Compassion. And you have that. I know for sure. And
Yeah.
now with and what would you say, like just through COVID, like how has that transitioned? Because I know so many nurses it's risky. You're putting yourself on the line. I was on a seminar on Friday. Yes. And they were talking about just so many nurses has lost their lives, like putting themselves out there and risking their lives with all that's going on with COVID. How has things changed, like when it comes to just COVID
Yeah,
and
like most of the nurses that I've come across that are taking care of patients that have COVID, it's like they don't even think twice. It's just like in their nature.
Yeah.
They just go out there and do what they need to do, to take care of the community,
Yeah.
to take care of take care of the patients that have sick, because that's what we were trained to do.
Yeah. And that's why
you take care of yourself, so you don't get you don't get contact with it, and do what's in your heart.
Yeah, and that's the key thing. I feel like just from what you shared, it's really it's not only a career that could advance you, and there's so many different areas of nursing and so many specialties and ways that you can create it to be something you desire, but you have to really have compassion and care. So, and that's something that I feel you either have or you don't.
You don't, yeah,
so,
exactly.
yeah, for those that are.
I'm not gonna, with nursing is so you can do so much, even if you don't want to do bedside, you don't want to do thing with patients. You can do management.
Yeah, that's what the big thing.
You can do the paperwork. If you think that's okay, my passion is really nursing, I really want to help, but I really don't like patients. You can do so much.
And that's the thing too. I've been hearing one of my girlfriends, she was interested in going into informatics, and she's in IT and she wants to be a nurse, and I know she'll do amazing. But there's so many different directions you can go in it. You can, like you said, if you're not so much that somebody who wants to do bedside, you could be a nurse educator, and with all this going on with COVID, I'm certain that there are nurse educators needed just to train people on how to properly protect themselves and protect their patients. I mean, you can go be an entrepreneur as a nurse, like Ernestine and I are working on her getting her own home care house. And then we're going to evolve her to get many houses, because she will be, she's the ideal person who I would love to care for any person. She just has such a heart for people. And you treat everybody like they're your own family. So there's so many directions you can go in. And I think the most important thing is exposure and knowledge. And that's why I wanted to have this live, so we can just share about these professions that really are available to us and that are beneficial for us that are foreigners, and even for those who aren't who are U.S. born. There's a shortage for nurses. Travel nursing is another thing that Ernestine has been exploring, and that allows you. Imagine you can take your career and go into different places, learn about different, just be able, if you're somebody who doesn't like settling in one place, Ernestine, I'm sure you've had travel nurses that work with you. you'll be able to go to different states, different places, and just kind of learn and be adventurous. I know with COVID, it's a little harder, but there's a lot of opportunities for travel
There
nurses.
is a lot of opportunity, definitely. Endless opportunity. If you don't like to take care of kids, then you can take care of teenagers. If you don't like to take care of teenagers, you can take care of the elderly. I love children and the elderly. You know, I always said I get my, I can always gain wisdom from them, so, and then the kids, oh my goodness, you'd be amazed. But right now, what I'm doing, I'm taking care of very sick pediatric kids. And it's just so amazing. God is so amazing. Kids, when sometimes when I look at them and I look at all their diagnoses, I'm like, oh my God. And then you see them, they're so full of joy. They're so full of, they're like the strongest person that I know.
Wow. It's just you learn so much, I'm sure. And I guess for me, my thing is why the only reason I would say I couldn't is because I put my heart into everything. So as you see, I'm so passionate about, getting people this information, but I really put my heart into everything. So I don't know how you separate that. And I think maybe that's one of the downfalls with the career, that you have to see patients sometimes, pass on, and just that's the hard part for me. So I don't know if I will be fit for it, but how do you pull through that? How do you not bring that home? So many of us complain like
you are already doing so much. You'd be amazed.
I'm like, oh, I can't. It's hard enough when I'm stressing out over somebody's visa or like I really want to get this person, sponsored or something. And yes, that's very important. But of course, you guys see people, life and death, situations. So I don't know how you do it. Like that's the part that I think would be a challenge for me and for
like when I'm taking care of the kids, I just assume automatically these are my kids. I mean, it's weird, but I just kind of like how would I want to take care of my own child,
Yeah.
So I just go with that. And sometimes it's hard once you're done and going home. Sometimes you take it with you. So when I get to a place like that, I just pray for them just like how
I know.
And if it's an older person that I'm taking care of, I take care of that person as my grandma. And sometimes they're so they just want you to sit down and talk to them. Just all I can advise you, especially if you're working, just if you have your time, sit down and talk to them. That's all. That's better than medication. You just want to have that companion, want to have that company.
Yeah. I tell you, it's a job that deserves so much more accolades and praise, because what you guys do, you help take care of our families, our children, so much more. So I honor and respect all the nurses out there and health professionals. And my goal is to create opportunities to see more people of more diverse people, more people of different backgrounds and leadership roles in healthcare and in nursing, because as we see a reflection of ourselves, it will continue to encourage others that they can get there, they can do it too, in addition to being able to take what we gain and pour back into where we came from. Whether that's, somebody here pouring back into inner city and teaching about healthcare professionals and how to get into healthcare, as well as in the countries that that the immigrants and foreign nationals, of course, will come from. So I'm just really big on, let's not just build wealth and knowledge for ourselves, but how could we help duplicate it? Because it's just a time we need to get into positions of purpose and positions that make a change and be able to help others continue down that path. Like, look, I was in fashion before I got into this, and people will be like, how did that happen? And I don't regret anything I did, in the past. I still love it, but I know that what I'm doing now will bring more value to people because I'm getting them information and I'm trying to help guide and support them to get to their goals, that will open it up for their families and those behind them. So all I want is the same, that as I equip people, I want them to keep equipping people. That's how we're going to see change. And we're not going to deal with some of the imbalance of diversity in the workforce, as well as getting our people to give back to where they came from. Like that's a big conversation I have with so many different people of different diverse backgrounds that I work with. Like, how could we make sure that we're not continuing to just lean on America as our resource, but we're also creating the same opportunities back where we came from. So I just want to thank you so much, Ernestine. I know you're working right now, so it's a lot to ask you to take this time to do this, but I just felt like it was so important to start to share about careers that will help bring people into their purpose. I agree with you, Alana. Giving is so important. So thank you for that comment. I'm happy again to have you share your story. I just wanted to share really quickly. I put together let's see if I can figure out how to share now on this thing. Hold on, let's see here.
You're struggling. So you cannot make fun of me now. You cannot make fun of me.
I usually kind of get this technology thing, but I'm always making fun of her. And then I'm like, let me learn, let me figure out how to do this. So I put together, let's see here if it allows me to. Can you see my screen, Ernestine, right?
Yeah, I can see your screen. Yeah.
So I put together like this little chart that I would have available to anybody who signs up for my email list. Just email me at info@pushstrategist.com. It's just a little cheat sheet on the path of becoming a nurse, what's required. So, job title, the different levels, CNA that we talked about today, LPN, which Ernestine is, and then RN. And there's more than just these areas. But I wanted to just kind of highlight what's required, what the timing looks like, as well as just emphasize on certain things, like depending on if you're a foreign educated nurse or you have foreign education, there are some other requirements, which I put some asterisks down at the bottom. But in general, I want to get this out to you guys so you have it just as a little cheat sheet. And part of my job, again, is to help you be able to understand how to get all the tools you need to walk you through everything that you need in order to become a nurse here. I do career coaching. I also do business coaching, as I shared.
You are such a blessing. You are such a blessing. She's so good at what she does, guys.
Thank you. I'm working my way up. So I'm like, I love having clients like you, Ernestine, because you make my job easy. It's fun. I love working with people who have a passion for it and they're good at it. So our goal is next year, you guys will be seeing Ernestine's home care house, her first house, and we're going to be duplicating that because she's a woman of wealth in every area and still doing what she loves. She's getting into a position of purpose in her career, and I want to help you guys too. So hit me up, info@strategist.com. I will send you guys that breakdown. I hope you were able to see it. I hope it pulled up. If not, email me. I'll still send it to you if you couldn't. But thank you, Ernestine, for your time.
Thank you.
With us today. Make sure to hit me up again, info@pushstrategist.com. I'll put the information here so you can get everything you need that we shared today, and also let me know. We can do a consultation and get you started on finding your position of purpose in your career. So, alrighty, have a good rest of the day, guys. Thank you for this lunch date. It was a blast. Thank you, Ernestine. It was
my pleasure. My pleasure, dear. Take care. Thank you for having me in.
You're welcome. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you guys again. Have a good one.